Alrighty, I'm super excited for you guys to see the video on Google My Business Listing Optimization Guide for 2019. Alright, so this video is gonna really go in depth on what you need to do to optimize your Google My Business listing. And what we're gonna cover today is, first of all, your name. Okay, why your name in the GMB is very important, how to set that up. We're going to look at your name, address, and phone number as a collective citation. We're going to look at the categories. We're going to look at the optimized photos. We're going to look at the description. We're going to look at the website, and we're going to look at the reviews. So we're going to cover a lot of depth here. And then at the end, we're also going to look at two very detailed and advanced strategies that will literally shoot you up in the rankings like never before. I've never seen any kind of videos that go in as depth as I'm about to. So I'm gonna try to make this video in literally one take. So please excuse the ands, buts, ifs, word mispronunciation, and awkward silences, pauses, etc. You get that. So why GMB? Why Google My Business? Google My Business is such an efficient way to get highly qualified leads because people are searching for your services all day long. All right. One thing to note is that although this video is going to go into a lot of detail, don't expect to be ranking in super competitive areas like New York City, Los Angeles for highly competitive keywords like dentist or lawyer, because people and businesses spend tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars each month to be on top of Google. That's how valuable this strategy is. If you're somewhere else in the country, perhaps not the top 5 biggest cities, then you should have a easy time to get on top of Google for the keywords that we're going to be ranking for. All right. The other thing to note is that we're going to be focusing in on ranking inside of the map pack. Okay, and this takes a slightly different approach of mine. Now, why are we choosing the map pack? So if you do a Google search, something like New York lawyer, right? When you search New York lawyer, what you're gonna see 2 or 3 AdWords on top. So 2 or 3 blue links on top, and those are the AdWords. Then you're gonna see what we call a map pack, a snack pack, a 3-pack. So it's going to be a Google Maps listing, and it's going to show 3 of the top relevant businesses in the local area that Google is recommending to people who are searching for that keyword. Now we're going to try to put our Google My Business listing inside of that map pack. We're going to put ourselves inside of there, and we're going to do that by the strategies that I'm going to discuss right now. So it's just to note that we're not going to be ranking the actual blue links that go below the map pack, as the map pack gets the most attention. It has star reviews. It has a very nice design, so people are enticed to click it. Google is putting it on top of the web page because people click it, because it looks super interesting. It's awesome. People click it. They give you a call. They go on your website. You get a lead. That's how you make money. You just got to work those leads a little bit, okay? And one thing to note is that I can show you all day long how to get on top of Google, and you need to actually provide value. And the amount of money that you make in your business is directly correlated to the amount of value that you provide for people that you work with. So just bear that in mind. Again, no phenomenal marketing is going to be able to outsell a bad product. Okay, so that's that. I hope this video brings you a lot of value, and I know it will. So go ahead and like this video. That's going to help me out a bunch, and subscribe as well. Cool. Let's hop into my computer, and I'm going to show you exactly what I am talking about. Let's go. Okay, now that we're inside of the computer, I'm going to try to be less jumpy. And again, I do apologize in advance for all the stops, the mispronunciations, the mess ups, etc. I'm going to try to get this out as quickly as possible. So just to prove that I'm not BSing you guys over here, here's one of the sites that I'm working on. It's Tax Shark, and it's ranking number 3 for a pretty good keyword. So this stuff works that I'm about to show you, and it works very well. It also has some advanced strategies, which we're going to cover at the end. So I'm super excited to share this, guys, to share this with you. Now, the first thing that we're going to look at is the name. Okay, and the name is very important because it plays a significant role in the business. And you want to structure your name to be in a way that is aligned with the way people refer to your business as. So I think I used this example in another video, but if your business is called Dentist in New York, right? You don't want to be called in Google My Business the Dentist Parlor in New York, because that's not what your business is known as. So also, this is up to you. I would probably steer clear of the INC, the incorporated title. If that's something you're going to use, then please use it across the board in your website name, in your NAP, which we're going to cover later. So just keep things consistent, I guess, is the point that I'm trying to make. Do not do this, which is what I'm about to show you. So above me, a company that's ranking with pretty bad reviews, actually, which is interesting. We're going to cover reviews later. It says diversified consulting and support services, not collections. Okay. That is not something that you want to do. Okay. That messes up Google big time. They are still ranking because I have not yet optimized my website enough to outrank them, but that's going to be done in about a month, so they're definitely going below us. But that is just a bad example that you do not want to do. Another thing that you probably do not want to do, but this is something for you to consider. You can add your business name plus a keyword. So what that's going to do is that's going to actually rank you very well for that keyword. So I used to have tax shark / or actually dash Roseville tax preparation. That got me really fast on top of Google for Roseville tax preparation, really quick. But that is not something that I would want to recommend for you, because your competitors can actually report you to Google for that, and that's not what Google likes. Okay, Google is really trying to focus on brands, clean brands, and there's a lot of lead generation businesses on Google in general for different keywords, and Google does not like that. Google favors local businesses in the actual local area, not lead generation companies that just try to sell off the leads to the local businesses that are actually in the area and be the middleman in between of them. So so I hope that covers the name aspect. Keep it clean, keep it something that is well known, and make sure that whenever you're referring to your website or to your actual company name on the web, make sure it's not standard, but keep it the same name over and over again. Okay, don't try to change it up and make it unique, because it needs to stay, this is the word, consistent across the things that we're going to talk about next. All right, so here I am back. Okay, let's look at number 2. Okay, number 2 is NAP. What NAP stands for is your name, address, and phone number. And when you have a name, address, and phone number together, that's essentially what's called an unstructured citation. So a citation is something that connects the dots together for Google, and it proves to Google that this business is being verified, that having the same name, having the same address, and having the same phone number from a third party. Now, what do I mean by a third party? A third party could be something like Yelp, could be something like Yellow Pages. There's a lot of these citations that are across the web, and they used to be these listing services back in the day where maybe 5 to 10 years ago, Google would actually favor these citations so much that if you had more citations than your competitor, you would be higher in the rankings than your competitor. So that was absolutely crazy. Google since then has massively changed everything, but it's still a very important part of your overall strategy. Now, there's a service that I use to actually make me these citations. And because there's so many of them, from about 130 to 200, something like that, that are very, really powerful, and that's something that you actually need, I don't want to manually go and make every single citation by hand myself. That just takes too long. So I actually use a service called Web20 Ranker. If you go to shop by category and you go to essential citations, they have a great service where they literally build out accounts for you, and they make sure your name, your address, and your phone number is exactly the same across all of those accounts. And one other thing to note, that your Google, this is your inside of the Google My Business console, and inside of there, you want to make sure that your citations have the same address, name, and phone number as does your Google My Business listing. So this is the address. Oops. This is the address that needs to be the same, right? This is the phone number that needs to be the same, and then a name, address, and name. Yeah, so the name needs to also be the same. All right. So keep it very clean and consistency, right? Google absolutely loves consistency because that's how it knows you are a real brand. All right. So back on this web20ranker.com, what I usually like to do, choose basic visibility or high visibility. I would probably go with high, just something that I would do. Go ahead and kind of go through this. You can add something, you don't have to. You can just go with this option and that should work out just fine. If you want more information on citation, go ahead and just watch this video. Chaz is a really awesome guy over at Web20Ranker. He goes into a lot of detail exactly how this works and how it affects your business. Now, I'm recommending this, and I'm a very lean practitioner. I absolutely will do everything to stay free, but at this point, my time is worth something, so I'd rather pay for this. So that's something for you to consider. You can actually do this by hand free. Maybe I'll make a video on that sometime later, but at this point, just use the service. Is going to get you some awesome results. Okay, what is the next thing in line? Oh, one more thing. On NAP, name, address, phone number, make sure that the same name, address, and phone number is on your website, right? So if you go on the website, taxsharkking.com, and you scroll down, you're going to see that this address at the bottom here on the footer and the phone number, they match up exactly to what Google is, to the information that we're providing from Google. And again, we're making that connection as tight as possible to what Google knows who we are and to the information that is provided on the internet and by third-party sources. So the more consistent that information, the more Google loves you and the more they are willing to put you higher. You're not trying to do little sketchy, scammy things. You are a real brand who has a real address, who has a real phone number who Google would like to promote, okay, within your actual local city. All right, so what's next? Next is the categories. 1 second here. All right. Categories are something that people and overall even SEO agencies highly underestimate. So usually what happens is they'll start working with the business, right? So you come to an SEO agency and they're like, oh, hey, okay, you're a dentist, right? And what they're going to do is they're going to list you under just one category. They're just going to put you as a dentist. And right over here, as you can see my mouse. So here are the categories, right, in general. And I have a lot of them, right? And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. But if you're a dentist, okay, and what you do is you just put yourself as a dentist, you're just going to be getting 1 out of the 10 available positions, which means you're going to get a lot less traffic, which means you're going to make a lot less money. Okay, you're going to show up a lot less. So this is a crucial mistake that even big agencies make, is that they do not put in enough categories into this Google My Business listing. So in terms of Tax Shark, right, you can see tax consultant, tax preparation service, accountant, tax attorney. So these are all different things that I'm classified under as. And we're going to kind of go into this deeper, but go ahead and fill out all of these categories and get as close as possible to the services that you provide, right? I mean, number 9 here, it says estate planning attorney. We are not actually an estate planning attorney, but we're able to take estate planning attorney and turn that into tax planning. And it's the craziest thing, but if you search tax planning plus a city, maybe Kansas, maybe Roseville, right, Sacramento, then it's actually going to show up under the GMB category under estate planning attorney, which is crazy because Google unfortunately does not have a GMB category for tax planning, which is this kind of new cool thing that our accountants are doing now. They're actually planning the taxes, how to save a lot more money than just filing them. Okay, so go ahead and fill out all of the categories, the 10 categories that are available, as close to what you can do as possible. And then I'm going to show you later how you can actually reframe them and tweak them to show up for different keywords for things like tax planning, right? We're not an estate planning attorney, but we do tax planning. So we want to show up for tax planning. So again, fill out all the categories as close as possible. Oh, and so getting back to the dentist, right? In terms of the dentist, if a dentist is just a dentist, then, he's probably not going to make a lot of money. But if a dentist can do cosmetic surgery, right? Maybe he does dental cleaning. Maybe they install veneers, or they do implants, right? So these are all different services that you can actually list your Google My Business categories under, right? So think of all the different services that you can do, and don't just stick to one thing, because you're going to, later over time, you're going to realize that you're going to be showing up for a lot more searches. If somebody types in implant in Rockland, California, you want to show up as a dentist. That's a highly valid and highly profitable customer that you absolutely need and want for your business. All right. So fill all that out. All right, let's continue. The next thing is optimized photos. Okay. So optimized photos it's very interesting. So Google is so smart that it can actually see the metadata on your photos. Okay, they actually can see the geo-tagged photos, and they're able to spot the location of your photos from where you took them. So what I recommend you do is take a camera, right? Or maybe your phone even. Go to your place of business. Or if you are maybe like a plumber, you do some kind of service, take a few shots of the work that you do. And go ahead and just post them under photos, right? So let me show you this example. So I have just a few pictures of the office that I'm located in here, but I took these pictures inside of the office, and Google can see by the information on the metadata that I did take these pictures inside of the office. So that's again confirming the location to Google and proving that I'm a valid identity. Okay. So that's something to consider as well. And I highly recommend that you do that. Okay. Full description. So what do I mean by a full description? So in terms of a full description, if we go into information here, okay, we scroll down, you're going to see that there's an option for a description. And I literally filled the description out to the maximum. I don't think there's maybe like 3 words more that I can add. But I filled the description with different kinds of keywords, right? Which is what people search for. So as you can see, if we kind of dissect the description, it says TaxShark is a Roseville Tax Services company. So Roseville Tax Services is a keyword that I do want to rank for. Not potentially, I want to rank for that keyword. So that is a keyword that I'm kind of already spicing inside of the Google My Business description. Our company offers a range of tax services, tax preparation, tax planning, tax resolution, tax audit protection, right? These are all keywords that I'm trying to rank for. I'm trying to show up for. So I'm giving Google more and more information about the specifics of my business, kind of going deeper and proving to Google again that I'm who I am, who I say I am. Alrighty. Okay, let's continue. Website. All right. In terms of your website, I'm gonna skip website for now. We're gonna continue later on. I actually want to cover reviews first. So in terms of the reviews are important, not specifically as a ranking factor, although they slightly are. They're more important for the user to actually give you a phone call. If you search up a keyword on Google and they have no reviews, or they have bad reviews, or they have very little reviews, maybe 1 or 2, then you're probably not going to trust the business, and you're probably not going to get the call. So in terms of reviews, there's 3 options that you can do. The first option is to go on eBay and buy the reviews. It's okay. You have to actually kind of talk to the seller, make sure that their reviews are not coming from China, just that they are local somewhere here, or make sure they are good, verify that they're high quality reviews. The other thing that I would consider is to actually do a review exchange. There are groups on Facebook. There are groups on, it's funny, there's actually sellers on eBay as well that they don't actually sell anything. You just message them to do a review exchange. So find those groups and post inside of the groups, hey, I'm looking for a Google business review exchange. And somebody's going to say, hey, I need one too. And you guys just exchange reviews, okay? That's the free and lean option that I'd probably go for if I had more time. But if you're like me and you don't have time, I use a service called Drip Feed Reviews.com. Not really sure where I came up across this. Maybe it was a training that I was watching. But these guys are pretty good. I think they're charging about $10 a review. There we go. Our service is Google Reviews. Oh, perfect. $5 a review. Wonderful guys. Really good customer service. They do take a little bit longer than I would like. Excuse me. But for the most part, wonderful guys. Just trying to remember the name of the lady that was replying to all of my feedback with her, but couldn't remember. Laura, maybe. But yeah, check these guys out. They're pretty awesome. Yeah, so that's reviews. Do that. Get some reviews on Google My Business. That's really going to increase conversions for you. You're going to actually get those phone calls. So the last thing here is just kind of go through everything and make sure it's all filled out, right? I would probably even suggest doing a post, something just interesting, maybe once a month, right? Just so you are top of mind and Google likes these posts. What I mean by posts is, see, it says Google is saying businesses like yours are posting. All you do is just create a post and maybe you put a picture, maybe you do some kind of an offer, right? Something that's just interesting that Google can use to promote your business. Okay. And overall, just in general, do a nice quality check. Make sure, so here's a post that we did, right? But make sure all of your Google My Business is filled out. It's nice and clean. You are saying the services areas that you serve. You are saying the work hours that you are working. You are citing holidays that you're not working. You can add some services here. Kind of fill this out. Make sure it's all nice, clean, and filled out. Trust me, this is very, very important. Okay. So going back to the website, let me show you. Now, the website is something, it's a very advanced strategy. And let me show you exactly what I'm talking about, the website, because what the website can do for you is just phenomenal. Okay, I'm going to cut right now and I'm going to hop back to the website at this point. Let's go. Alrighty, so we are into the website section. This is where the real fun begins. And because this is going to be a little bit more complicated, I want to go ahead and apologize in advance for some pauses, stutters, etc. So let's get started. We need to connect Google's categories to pages on our website, right? So what we need to do is take the power of Google's category that Google has in itself. In my example, Tax Shark, the categories that I'm using, tax consultant, tax preparation service, accountant, tax attorney. These are very powerful categories inside of the Google My Business account. And I need to connect these categories to my web pages. When that connection happens, you again confirm to Google that you are who you say you are, and Google will put you higher in the rankings. So what you would want to do is you want to set your primary category, in my case, tax consultant, and link that to your homepage. Now, I have a slightly different structure because I am actually thinking about doing multiple locations, and that I actually might cover doing multiple locations in a separate video. If you want to see a video for multiple locations for your Google My Business optimization, leave a comment down below. But for now, if you have a single location, right, what you want to do is you want to use your primary category like tax consultant on your main homepage. So let me actually open up a Word doc here. I'll be right back. All right, before we get into the homepage, this is what we need to do. Here I have an Excel sheet, right? And on this very first column, I have all the services that we actually do and the business that I work with, right? These are the services that we actually provide. On the second column, these are the services that Google has a category for, but not necessarily something that we provide. They can be, but they can be not. Let me show you an example. So if we look at the first service that we provide, tax services, it's a very broad thing. It's a good keyword to rank for, so we want to use that, right? We provide, TechShark provides tax services. But the closest category to that on Google would be tax consultant. Now, yes, tax services might be tax consultant, right? It gets a little wavy here. But what we want to do is we want to match up your Google My Business category to your service, actual service that you do. So we need to retheme it. And what retheming does is it allows you to rank for the keywords that Google actually shows up for in the Maps pack. So what do I mean by that? When you type in tax services in, let's say, Portland, all right? Let's see who's going to show up. Portland, Oregon. All right. As you can see, a Maps listing shows up. We want to get inside of this Maps listing. That being said, if we actually go back, if we go back here, the closest service is tax consultant. So we need to take the power of the tax consultant Google My Business category and make that juice flow into tax services so we can get in on top of Google when somebody searches in tax services. All right. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Stay with me. If there's any questions, go ahead and leave them down below. So what we need to do is we need to make all of these different keyword qualifiers. Okay. The more keyword qualifiers that you have, the more Google is going to, again, support you and your website to put your GMB on top of Google. So what does that actually mean? With each keyword qualifier, we're going to make a sentence out of that. We're going to post that sentence on our website. Google is going to pick up these sentences and then they're going to use some of the keywords in the sentences to start ranking us for those different keywords that are going to be showing up. So instead of me explaining and really probably not doing a good job, let me actually show you what I'm talking about. So we want to take the primary service that we offer, not the Google My Business category, but the primary services that we offer. Now, you actually want to do this before you jump into this, right? So literally go through your GMB, figure out the services that you do, as many as possible, and then match them up to the services that you actually do. Okay. Alrighty. Don't worry about this theme column. Just match them up together. Alright. So the service that we actually do is we provide tax services, but Google has a tax consultant. Alright. So what we want to do in this case is we want to go to tax services. Alright. And we just want to do like a before keyword. So let's see. If we type in tax services A, right? What pops up? Around me, right? When I click around me, voila, there's a Maps listing. So now we take this search term around me and we just paste in the keyword qualifier. So in this case, maybe I should add it. If I don't, not seeing it, but I would add this as a keyword qualifier. Tax services around me. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right, so these are all the different keyword qualifiers that you can find. And what you do is you literally type in the keyword tax services and you type in A and you see tax services and more. Well, that's probably somebody's business, but hey, a Maps listing pops up. Let me add and more to the keyword qualifier. Type in tax services B, business, tax services business. When you press that, does a listing show up? Yes, it does. So we want to go back and add this as a keyword qualifier. Tax services business. There we go. I already have a business, right? Last example, tax services. Let's say you reached N, right? We're going to put N is going to say near me, nearby, right? Let's press nearby. Does a map listing show up? Yes, it does. So we want to use that keyword qualifier. We're going to put nearby back into our Excel sheet, and we're going to paste that, well, we're going to keep that keyword qualifier inside of there. So literally go through the entire alphabet A to Z for every single service that you do and see which keywords bring up a maps listing. And by maps listing, I mean this 3-pack right here, the 3-pack that shows up in the Google Maps as your search result. All right. So eventually you're going to have a list that's, that's pretty decent, right? It's going to be, it might be this big, it might be bigger, it might be smaller, right? But these are the keyword qualifiers that I went through and saw that Google My Business Maps listings showed up on Google. Sometimes when you type in something else, right? If you type in tax services, B, and you type in tax services brochure, right? That's not going to show up a maps listing because that's not relevant to your local area. Okay. So when we have all of these keyword qualifiers, right? This is getting very interesting, right? This is what makes, this is the bread and butter. This is what really drives Google. What we want to do is we want to do the second part, right? So let's look at the second part right now. Let me kind of go over it. So you want to use the heading tags on your website. So on your website, you have H1 tag, H2 tag, and H3 tag. Now, it's worth mentioning that I'm assuming you're using WordPress for this, and I'm going to be covering that you do use WordPress for this. Okay? But, so the H1 tag is the default tag on your website, and that means it's your title tag. All right. Inside of WordPress, this is the title tag, right? So your web console inside of WordPress might look a little different, but here's what I'm doing, right? This is the title tag. This is the H1. Okay. Let me just copy it and let me break it down. Let me break down exactly what I'm doing. Okay. So this is my H1. So I'm using tax consultant as my page title. Now let's say this was my homepage, right? This is what I would want to do. Tax consultant. If we go back and look at our Google My Business, if I can find it, my primary category is tax consultant. So as you can see, the homepage is really partnering up with tax consultant to create this super just powerful juice in Google. Juice is a word that's used in Google SEO. So, okay, so we are doing tax consultant, right? Notice that it's not tax services, it's tax consultant because I want to suck out the power of the Google My Business category. Okay, so that's H1 for you. And because I don't want to over optimize it, I'm using kind of like a little click through element here on the second part. And what that means is, do something that might look natural. Maybe put best rated in Roseville, right? Number 1 rated in Roseville. Voted the best in city. Excuse me. Something that is natural. Something that people would probably want to click. You don't want to over optimize and keyword stuff your tags because that's over optimization. Google might actually de-rank you for that. All right. H2. What are we doing here? So H2, let's actually see a live example. What am I actually doing on my H2? So if I actually load my web page, all right, give it a second. I'm listening to some kind of song. I don't even know which song I'm listening to, but let me bring this up. Now, you don't see anything. This is inside of my editor, right? Of my WordPress editor. I use Elementor, and I'm actually probably going to do a video covering like Elementor and WordPress. I'll do it later, not now. But for now, let's say you have you have Elementor, right? I'm going to be using Elementor in this example. Let me just make this a little bit bigger for you guys to see. typography 0.1. Let's actually increase that in size. And let's do the text color different. Okay. I'm just going to note H2 here just so it's easier to see. Alright, so what I'm doing is on my actual page. So let's say this is my home page. On the actual page, after I put my H1 as the title into WordPress, alright, and I linked the Google My Business category as my page title to suck out the juice, I need to do what's called a retheming if my service does not match up with the Google My Business category. So in this case, this is the first example. It does not match up. Right now, later I'm going to show you when it does match up. Right, for right now, it does not match up. So I need to retheme it. So we're going to retheme tax consultant into tax services. So in the H2, I'm going to put my actual service now, right? It's going to be tax services. And again, I'm going to use some kind of a nice element like helping Roseville taxpayers, something natural, right? You don't want to over optimize. So add maybe something like assisting Memphis developers, whatever your business is, but something natural that is not going to over optimize Google. And then in my H3, this is where it gets very, very interesting. What we want to do, as you can see, I have all these different sentences, right? So in the first sentence, it says, understanding your income tax situation. Keep in mind that this is for Google's robots to read. This is not designed for people to read, so you actually want to hide it on your website somewhere. Now, when I first loaded the page, you couldn't actually see it because I made the font size super small and I made the font color white. You can't see that. All right. So that's how I had it. If you don't have that functionality inside of your WordPress, I would probably just scoot it all the way to the end. It doesn't matter where it's located on your actual page, but having it on there is the most powerful thing you could do with your Google My Business. Again, that's really going to shoot you up in those rankings. So how are we going to come up with all of these different sentences? You have to be a little creative here. And it does take a little bit of time, but it's definitely worth it. Again, you're getting free leads. You don't have to pay for leads. Your business will not go out of business if you keep on getting free leads, right? 80% of businesses go out of businesses because why? Well, because they probably need to spend money for leads. It just gets overwhelming. They don't have enough money left. They're going in debt. If you have a constant flow of leads, you're not going to go out of business, which is why this is so incredible, which is why this, one of the hardest parts to do, is so worth it. Okay. And just to clarify something else, it might take a few months as well, right? Like 3 to 6 months in some areas. Some areas is going to take a month, maybe a week. Some areas 6 months, maybe 7. But it's worth it. And keep on working on this kind of stuff. This is what's going to get you and your business to the next level. So let's get back into this. Understanding your tax situation. If we go back into the maps, right? Let's see. Let me try to figure out what I was thinking when I was writing this. So understanding your income tax situation. So my first keyword qualifier is income, right? So what you do is you don't want to just copy and paste all of these words. You actually want to make a sentence out of it. So that sentence doesn't really make sense to a person. It's not like understand your income tax situation. It doesn't really make that much sense, but for a Google robot, it will make sense. It sounds like a natural sentence to a Google robot, which is what we want it to sound. So you just take that word, right? That keyword qualifier, and you put it into a sentence, right? So the next one, it would be best, right? So rated best in the Roseville area, right? Again, I'm putting that keyword in there and I'm leaving it there with the sentence. What's the next keyword qualifier? Professional, right? So professional understanding of your needs. it's such a funny sentence, a person would not be able to understand it, but Google does. And you want to use these keyword qualifiers in your website. So what I do is that after all of this, right, after I've done this, you need some content. So on your actual page, right, if you scroll down, I have all these services that I offer, right? And here I have some content on my actual page, right? And then I also embedded my Google map here. So that's pretty simple. You just go to Google, type in your business name, press share, and go into your WordPress and actually embed the map. So it should be fairly simple. And I have some content here that just kind of explains my services. I'm not sure how many words this is, but the way I get content is I go to iWriter.com. I should probably make a separate video on this, and literally you just order content, right? I'm not gonna go into the process of ordering content at this point, but I think you can probably figure it out. You can select the different quality of writing, and you can select the different how many words you actually want, right? So order the article, maybe change a little bit if it doesn't sound too good, and run it through Grammarly. Actually, run it through Grammarly and then put it on here. That should be able to help you out quite a bit. Alrighty. So I'm gonna come back and we're gonna talk about the actual inner page structure now. We have covered the home page, and we're gonna talk about inner page structure now. Okay. Alrighty, let's continue on to our inner pages. Okay. So what this is gonna do is, with these inner pages, we want to add the additional services that we do onto a separate page, match it with a powerful Google My Business category, and then have Google push us forward based on the information that's on our website, okay, and make us rank in that category that we want to rank for. So if we go back to this little section, our maps research here, we're going to continue on to tax preparation. So in the previous section on the homepage, we had a separation where tax services did not match tax consultant. In this case, tax preparation matches tax preparation service closely enough, right? It's just one more word. I can say that it's the same thing. So we do not need to retheme it, okay? So we don't need to add the H2 tag. We just go from H1 to H2, and then the H2 is just all of these keyword qualifiers. We do not need to retheme it. When you have a service area that does not match to the GMB when you have a service that does not match the GMB category, that's when you need to retheme it. In my case, I do not need to retheme it for this tax preparation. Alrighty. So if we go into our web page, which is our inner page, right? Our title tag is going to be tax preparation Roseville, California, right? Tax preparation Roseville, CA. Right? Capitalize that, make it look good, right? Tax preparation Roseville, maybe add a comma, Roseville, CA, right? And what we want to do now is on your inner page structure, okay, this is how your pages are, how they are linked inside of your website. So it's going to be your website name.com, right? And what we want to do is use the direct match category from Google again, right? So this is going to be tax planning service. So what we want to do is we want to use your biz.com, right? Your website / tax preparation service. Boom. You see how this matches up exactly to the GMB category, and the GMB category is what gives us the power and what makes us rank, right? So we're tying that in. Okay, for the H1, right? So the H1, this is the WordPress title, okay? We're just gonna copy that and we're just gonna paste that here. So again, what am I doing? I am literally, again, using the exact Google category in my H1, and then I'm just adding some kind of a interesting element here, right? Something that is normal, something that is not spammy and actually might want to drive people to click it. Stop losing money. That's an emotional thing that people want to click, and Google is not going to penalize me for just keyword stuffing everywhere, right? So you want to add a dash, something that is relevant to your niche, like top rated in city. Alrighty, H2. In this case, again, I'm going to repeat, we do not need to retheme. So H2 for us, if we go back into the web page and we actually load it up, all right. Again, I hid this because Elementor has some awesome features where you can hide it. But over on the left side, we can see that right here, it's an H2 tag. And what does this say? Tax preparation, tax services with highest refunds. Okay. But, I mean, I added this, not necessarily that you need to do that. Let's say because tax preparation matches closely enough to tax preparation service, the Google My Business category, we don't need to do that. So I can literally delete that. I'm not. But imagine that this part right here was the H2 tag. And I could literally switch that to H2 if I wanted to. I'm going to leave it on H3. So in our example, and this is a prime example of do what I say, not what I'm doing right now here. Right? So the H2 tag is going to be something like this. Right? Some bullet points, right? And these are the keyword qualifiers that, again, come from our research. So income. So the first keyword qualifier is income. Okay? So income, our service is designed to increase your income and profit. Right? That has that keyword in there, but it's not just income by itself. There's a sentence. There's some kind of a meaning behind it. Google is not going to penalize me for over optimization, right? This is what you want to do for every single keyword. And sometimes you can kind of mix them together, you know? I have best and professional, right? I have best, comma, professional, and highly reviewed. So I have 3 keywords in one sentence. That's okay, right? But just make it sound natural. Make it sound something somebody would say, all right? Okay. And then, again, what you want to do is you either want to make the text super small so that Google can read it, but not people visiting your website, because it's just not going to make a lot of sense to people if you have just a bunch of these words on the website. Or, you know, make it white. Or if you cannot do that, which you probably should if you're using Elementor, which I highly recommend. But if you cannot, put it somewhere on the bottom of your website so hopefully nobody sees it. If they do, it's okay, right? They're just going to forget it. They're going to scroll up, not really pay too much attention to that. So that is kind of the basis of it. Let me show you one very important thing. WordPress, if you're using WordPress kind of likes to screw things around a little bit. So what we actually need to do is we need to get out of here and we need to install a plugin that's not going to mess up with, that's not going to mess with our H1 tags. And let me go over to the plugin. Let me see what plugin it is. There we go. The plugin is called PS Disable Auto Formatting. Go ahead and just search that plugin in your WordPress console, install it, and that's going to make sure that WordPress does not mess up your H1 tags. I'm not going to go into super detail on that. I don't know too much on that, but that is a step that is very, very important. So, little detail. Fill them with content. So after the H2, right? After these H2, put some text, right? Buy an article or write an article yourself. 500, 700, 1,000, 2,000 words. Hey, if you can do it, that's going to help you. But something, get it up there. And that's related to, you know, whatever service you're offering. So if it's tax preparation, have somebody write an article about tax preparation, right? What is tax preparation? Hey, I don't know. Well, la la la, it's this requirement in the United States, da 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 da. Everybody reports the money to the IRS, right? 700 words, 1,000 words, 1,500 words, right? Put some content out there. That's going to really help you put Google. It's gonna really help Google put you on top. That's gonna give something Google to work with. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not too sure about some other things. Maybe if something else comes along, I'm going to post an update. But this is your ultimate 2019 guide for your Google My Business listing optimization. I hope this helped. Please share this video. Thank you so much for watching. Peace. Get out of here.